Success on the water is not a guarantee for any team here at the Thousand Islands Open, but there's no doubt that a successful partnership on the boat is a definite advantage to making it to the podium. At the end of day one, 4 of the top 25 teams were made up of father and son combos. Team 38, Paul and Cal Clemson, are 23rd after day one. Unlike many of the teams on the water on day 2, they're not struggling to catch fish.
Well, it's a lot of fun. 2 heads are always better than 1. You can throw 2 different kinds of baits, give them different options, so it can make for a good day of fishing.
Paul's love for the sport of fishing led him down the tournament trail. Having his family along for support obviously had an effect on young Cal.
The first tournament was on Lake Simcoe, and I was, I think, 12 years old.
Feels real good to have someone following in some of us old timers' footsteps. And Cal's had a lot of good mentors out there, and it's paying off now because he's doing really good.
Success as an individual angler is one thing, but working together can involve a lot of compromise or conflict. Cal's well aware of what his dad brings to the team.
We haven't had much success in the last couple years, maybe on some of the older spots that produced from him in the past. And lately they've been putting out some fish. So he's been quick to say that his spots that he found 10, 15 years ago still hold fish. So it's obviously an advantage to fish with someone that's been fishing for so long and has the sense on the water that he does. It brings a lot to the combo of him and I out in the water.
Team number 2 is longtime tournament angler Bob Izumi and his son Darren. Their 13th place standing after day 1 shouldn't be a surprise for anyone familiar with Bob's history in the tournament world.
I'm a little bit obsessive addicted, would you say, Darren?
Oh yeah, we'll get on the water. Even when it's not a tournament, he just won't get off the water. But there's something about that adrenaline rush in a tournament in the morning when you're blasting off and trying to beat the clock to get in. It's awesome.
It's an obsession that seems to have rubbed off on Darren.
Darren and I have been fishing tournaments for about 10 years or so together, haven't we?
Yeah, about 10 years. Did one when I was around 18, got hooked on it, and you can't shake me since.
No, I'll tell you, and this guy can catch fish, so he's a great partner to have.
Despite the tough driving thanks to the wind, Bob and Darren have spent most of their time fishing the lake, and it's paying off for them.
My dad knows how to catch fish, no matter where you put them. I'm sort of played the devil's advocate or the rhyme or reason and try to get him to think a little bit differently.
The biggest thing I think that Darren has seen in me is sometimes I get stuck in my ways.
Oh yeah.
And I'll stay in a spot too long, or I'll turn left instead of right. We'll be going somewhere and all of a sudden I'll take a turn and decide to fish something on the way there. I do a lot of those intuitive things, and sometimes that intuition stays too long. And that's hurt us in some turns, and some it hasn't. So I think in any tournament angler knows you have to gamble a little bit and roll the dice.
Lynn Johnson has introduced both his sons, Corey and Chris, to the tournament side of fishing, where they've both found great individual and team success. This time around, Lynn and Chris have teamed up and find themselves in 5th place after day 1.
It's a lot of fun. Don't fish together much anymore, so we had a blast. We probably caught 20 fish a day, and they're all 3 to 6 pounds. So anytime you can go do that with your father, it's a great weekend.
Lynn's opinion on fishing with his son is slightly different.
Pretty tough some days. That's actually pretty enlightening. They fish completely different than myself 20, 30 years ago. The way they catch smallmouth, we never done that back in the day. So I had a good weekend to learn how to catch smallmouth.
The Johnsons are burning their way through competition as they make their way through the tournament trails. But according to Chris, their success on the water is constantly hampered by his dad's poor performance in one vital area.
He's probably the worst net man I've ever seen. I got amateurs that are better. Every fish, he hit them once just to make sure they're on good before he scooped them.
But what Chris doesn't understand is I've never had to net fish in my life. It's new to me.